Hi everyone, I'm Scott from the Mercenary Miniature Painter, and today I'm just doing a little showcase on my Wood Elf army, who you might have seen in our video battle report. If you haven't, go and check that one out. So this army is probably my favourite in terms of the way it plays and the paint scheme. I did love putting this together. It was a bit of a pain doing all the basing, but I think it came together quite nicely. So I'll just go over quickly. So my bread and butter are Glade Guard. The trees and things like that on the bases are actually all just real woodland stuff that I scavenged and then meticulously pinned onto bases, which was a bit tedious, but I like the autumn scheme as well. So I got some, I think I got the fallen leaves from Green Stuff World, but they sort of add a nice touch, gives the sort of seasonal element to them. My other core are usually 2 lots of 8 Dryads. These guys are pretty good. They usually, I mean, in terms of gameplay, I love the just the threat that these guys can put out, being fear causers, 2 attacks each, strength 4, toughness 4, and having the magical ward save does just make them just a nuisance to anyone and everyone. I'm not a fan of just spamming them though. I do like to have variety in my army, so you do see some Wood Elf armies that are just sort of 5 or 6 units of Dryads. I tend to stick to just the 2. My favourite unit though are the War Dancers. So I've got 14 here. I usually split them into 2 units of 7. I managed to get hold of some of the special edition ones, the more acrobatic looking dynamic poses. But yeah, I really love this unit. The versatility, being able to pick the dances and switch between as and when you need them really does help. And if, as I said, if you watch the battle report, you will see how nasty they can be. Another super reliable unit are the Wild Riders. Again, really enjoyed painting this unit, putting it up together, and they're just an all-round good unit. Sort of a weird one in that they're not really heavy cavalry, but they're supercharged fast cavalry, so they can often surprise people who either expect them to be a little bit slower than they are or not as hard hitting as they are. So they definitely do well. I've done a bit of freehand on that banner here. Will mention again, I do commission painting, so if anyone wants to message me, I will be happy to take an order. I think the most recent addition, the only ones I didn't actually do in the initial batch, were the Way Watchers. To be honest, gameplay-wise, I think they rarely actually do what you want them to do. Like, Killing Blow at short range is nice, but it does mean that more often than not, they just tend to... They sort of have to get too close for comfort. On a nice packed board, they can be quite dangerous, but I think they're just a nice unit. And where would we be without a Treeman? To be honest, I went with this model because I had it in a set. I do like the 8th edition one. It's not, to me, as iconic as the older sort of 4th, 5th edition Treeman. He is ridiculously tall. The only thing I don't like about it is, as you'll see, it's just so fragile. So I do tournament game, so unfortunately every time I come back from the tournament he seems to have lost a branch here or there, which has dinged up his paint job slightly. Had to expand his base slightly as well to get him onto a 50mm for 6th edition, but yeah, I'm fairly happy with how he showed out. And then on to my characters. So I usually run Viola over here, my spell singer, as a level 2. Magic, she's really there just to bring scrolls, as you'll see if you've watched the battle report. The Wood Elf magic is, unless you really load up on it, it's difficult to pull off with. My Highborn, the Lady Tiana, she's the Cursed City elf. I can't remember what the actual model's called, but I managed to pick that one up on eBay. I like the pose anyway, and I have magnetized her foot in the hopes of one day, if I can pick up a forest dragon from somewhere, then I can magnetize his back and use her interchangeably with that one. I've got a branch wraith. I don't use this one very often, to be honest. I usually prefer just to keep my characters to 3, and she is my least favorite one. But having a fighter who can be a level 1 wizard is quite useful at times. and it does give you a bit more on the dispels, especially if you give the Cluster of Radiance for the extra dispel dice, because that can bring you up to 5 which is a lot better than just 3 if you don't have her. And probably my favorite, not just character, but model all round, everything about him. I love the Alter Noble. So he's got an 18-inch movement, 5 attacks on the charge. He's an absolute monster. He's a utter pain. Give him the was it the Hail of Doom arrow? So 3d6, strength 4 once per game. Everyone knows it's coming, but yeah, he is just a demon on the battlefield. As long as you keep him supported and don't just throw him off, he usually manages to just be a nuisance for the entire game. Loved painting this one up, and yeah, I was just happy to get this model. I think it took months of trying to win one on eBay bid. I'm sure Games Workshop are going to re-release him with the old world anytime soon now, and put shame to anything that was rare to get a few months ago, but can't complain. So yeah, that's my army. Thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll see more of these on the channel.